Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to the 10-Minute Planner, where we talk about events all the time.
Introduce yourself, introduce your business, and let us know what we should know.
Okay. So my name is Ebony C. Stewart. I'm the founder and creative director at Ebony Katus Events. So we're a boutique firm that specializes in destination events and weddings, including event design, and also support clients with curated travel services. So why is that? Because for destination celebrations, the travel experience is part of the event, right? So
Yeah.
yeah. And so I've been in the event industry for 15 years now and been a travel advisor for a little over 5 years. So, yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So where did you start? So did you start always with destination and events, or did you evolve into both?
Good question. So I started out in as an event planner, event and
Mm-hmm.
wedding planner, so planning wedding and events. And so right before COVID hit, everything shifted. I decided to dive a little bit deeper into destinations, but in the sense of wanting to make it more unique in terms of offering something more unique in terms of focusing on the client,
Yeah.
not necessarily the event, but bring as the planner, we're already focusing on everything, the client and the event, of course. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the travel aspect of things, I wanted to merge that a little bit more, focusing on the client. There's so many details and tools that goes along with it and connections and within that the specific destinations.
Got it. Okay. So it's more so kind of like just making sure that the client overall, like if they're going to have their event overseas, it's just making sure they have a comprehensive
Well,
experience.
yes, right. So merging the two, I wanted to basically elevate the
Right.
overall design and intention of the guest experience as a destination event planner, right? So I decided to just, back in 2020 to merge the two, but to dive a
Yeah.
little bit deeper in that to get certified in hospitality and tourism, right?
Okay.
With the Caribbean being one of my biggest regions top regions for clients, to produce their destination incentives.
Good. Okay. Perfect. So, what is the planning process for planning a destination event?
Ooh, the planning process. So phase one is all about the vision. And we start with a couple's vision, of course, guest count, priorities, budget, comfort zone, all that great stuff. Phase two is really then next is the destination and the venue selection. So, a short list of venues, resorts, service levels. And
Mm-hmm.
the phase three is travel strategy and guest logistics, right? So building the travel plan, the room blocks, contract terms, group rates, stuff like that. And of course, phase four, the vendor team, bringing all of that together, lighting, rentals. Phase five, of course, production, timeline, final details. And last but not least, which is our phase six, bringing everything together on site management, right? Which
Right.
is overseeing the setup, managing everything. So rehearsal and all that great stuff.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So being a planner and uh, well, I got something in my eye. Like basically a planner, and just for people to understand, almost kind of like a travel advisor, right? I'm saying that very lightly. How does having that dual expertise um benefit the client in a way that they do not expect? I
So
think that a lot of clients, in my experience, they see everything at a surface level, right? So they don't know the ins and outs that go behind it. So if you can explain like more about maybe the relationships that you have, maybe there's discounts that get passed on if they work with you. Like what's the reason they should get a destination planner? Um and how can that help them in ways that they don't usually think of?
Very good question because I explain this to clients a lot. And one of the main things and the first thing is understanding the contracts and the leverage, right? So I read, resort contracts differently,
Yeah.
right? And so the cancellation, block penalties, all of that detailed things within a contract because there's a lot of wiggle room. But second most importantly is maintaining and building and having that network of vendors within the destination
Right.
and or within the region.
Right.
One of the next best thing is having a great relationship with the tourism board. That is key.
Yeah.
So that assists with the guest experience, right? And of course, the better financing strategies and of course, problem solving. So it's creating an entire team within that destination, which is always the first option.
Right.
Um, and part of the at least the 3 tiers in terms of really getting an idea of the client's budget. But really, for the destination aspect of things is base 1. That's the uniqueness that I bring with in terms of that why it's important to have a destination event planner that's also a travel advisor and really understands what it is to host an incentive, in any destination.
Right. Okay. Perfect. Um, how early should someone start planning their destination event? Like, what's too late? What's too early?
Ooh,
Where, like, exactly, what's the like timeline that they need to know to plan something?
Good question. So I like to say a year out.
Okay.
That gives you,
Yes.
especially in this economy, if you're hosting a wedding, if you are a 2026 bride, I say book now. If you are a 2027 bride, I say book now. 2028, book as soon as possible. And the reason for that is there are rates there, at least depending on the destination and the property that you would like to host your said event.
Yeah.
They already have the rates out for the next 2 years.
Oh.
Also, you have more flexibility in the negotiation process and building that rates, flexibility in terms of your payment plans for your clients, for
Mhm.
your guests, I'm sorry. So there is a lot to offer in terms of booking that destination, but the earlier the better. I say start a year out. 6 months out is you still have some wiggle room, but hey, so
6
make sure you
months is
have the budget right required for that.
right. Yeah, it seems really like that seems tight. That's like
Right. I'll
like
tell you, I have destination weddings right now for St. Vincent.
uh,
And I've had a bride, she booked 2 years out.
okay.
So her wedding is next year. I have another destination for next year for a milestone celebration. They booked over the weekend. So these are the things, right? When being a event planner is great, it's wonderful. We deal with the logistics and the design aspects, but the logistics is the main thing. But as a travel advisor, I can't stress it enough. It's more than just the room blocks. It's really
Yeah.
more than just the room blocks. And we really have to hone in on understanding the product, right?
Yeah.
The destination and really what um a lot of these properties and destination can offer you so much more
Mhm.
if you don't really understand the product.
Yeah.
So and what to
Yeah.
offer the client. So yeah.
So, well, that brings me to my next point. One of the things, so I was talking to my husband, and we're about to hit 10 years, right? Next year would be 10 years of marriage. And I was like, oh, let's have the wedding, vow renewal, the wedding that I actually wanted, right? I wanted to do a destination. I wanted to go out into, fly out, have a beautiful celebration on the beach and all the things. But that didn't happen. It didn't play out that way for some reasons. But um, for my vow renewal, I wanna do destination. So I was actually gonna hit you up on the side when I figure it
Mm.
out.
Well, you
But
you and I are in the same situation because my vow renewal is end of this year.
oh,
So
really?
and unfortunately it's not destination, which is sad, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But there's a reason for that. we need to look at the economy and the timing that we're living in. And so you need to take your guests into consideration.
Yeah.
Right? So
Like,
a lot of things need to be discussed when we're doing destination now. It's not really just about the budget anymore,
yeah.
because you can have the budget, but maybe more than half of your guests can't attend.
Yeah, we could come. And that's a part of it too, because I really wanted to do destination, but also too, so me planning, I planned a vow renewal in Jamaica at was it the Moon Palace? I have mixed feelings about it, but as we're saying it's a vow renewal, we don't need to have nothing big. We don't need to this. We just want a small space. They still were trying to charge wedding prices. And I'm not going to say the name of the website, but they went through a website that's popular for destination planning, and they were just not helpful. They were pretty much like, this is the contract, that's it. This is this, that's it. And then on the last, I think 2 weeks before their date, because I was signed on like maybe 2-3 months before, because they were just having a hard time with their planner that they were assigned from this website. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll pass through the red tape and look through the logistics and communicate, negotiate for them on their behalf. So I was like strictly remote in this. I didn't actually go there or whatever, but they was like, if you have an outside person other than their approved people, you have to pay $1,000 fee on top of whatever that person costs. And I was like, did y'all just make this rule up? Like this whole entire time of planning, y'all just decided 2 months before to share this information. I was like, this is crazy. So I feel like it's very stressful in terms of the budget for the overall event, but then also I can see it from the side of the guest as well too, because the guests, you want your guests to have a good experience. Like,
Of course.
I'm thinking about pushing the vow renewal. I know 10 years is next year, but pushing it to 28 because of what you said in terms of the economy and where we're at. And I want to make sure that the important people, right, can actually make it there. But in terms of, and I say all that to say, do you feel like you get the same type of pushback from vendors? Like, can a client really creatively control their event and say, I want this makeup artist. I don't care if it's not a part of your approved spa or whatever. Okay. So what's your experience with that?
So the property that you specifically speak of, Moon Palace, is one of the properties I'm very familiar with and have worked with before. And yes, I'm very familiar with some of the clauses and what they actually require. And you can't. I will say, for me personally, a lot of what we do as planners in general, being in this industry is almost like real estate. It's relationship.
Yes.
So if you, and this is why it's very important, right? Is being a destination event and wedding planner is really not about just the room blocks. You really got to do the work. You got to be on in that destination, building these relationships. So I'm able to get a little wiggle room around that. Let's say, for example, my client prefer to use a florist that is off property but lives in the destination, right? They will waive that fee. And or they may say, okay, we'll take 50% off, right? That fee. So there's a little wiggle room. And again, if you are a destination event and wedding planner that is bringing in so many guests or events on that property, they will roll the red carpet out for you and your clients, any clients you bring anytime, because they know the value is there. So it's really genuinely about these relationships. It's really about understanding the product, yes, knowing and understanding your brand. Of course, you don't want to just work with every and anybody. That's not what I'm saying, but it's very important to understand that destination, build those relationships with those in that destination, and be able to align your clients and their guests along the way. So it can happen. You can get great deals. I've done it plenty of times.
Okay. So walk us through what it's like to work with you from the first time they inquire
Mm-hmm.
client to the day of the event. What can they expect? What's the overall process in terms of
Okay.
communication and working
Of
together?
course. So first things first is, of course, we receive that inquiry and we schedule a consult. Upon
Hmm.
scheduling that consultation, we have our conversation. We sometimes, there's a proposal that's sent out. At
Hmm.
times, there isn't one. There's just a contract that's sent out. And
Right.
immediately we start our onboarding process with the clients, getting them all set up. Now, here at Ebony Katus Events, we have two clients. We have the clients who don't want to do anything. They don't want to know the vendor. They just want, hey, here's the card on file. This is what the budget's going to be. Get it done.
Right.
Then you have the client who actually want to be a part of the process and they want to be able to, for us to supply the vendors and they go through everything and then we execute the rest for them,
Right.
right? So they want us to hold their hands and go along. Now, upon going through all of that process, we do a lot of things within creating the experience. So because as destination wedding and event planners, myself, we send out, once a client cannot physically be there, we're able to get it to them, whether it be a tasting of some
Right.
sort or gifting of some sort. And then again, destination wise, we set everything up for them. Flights, accommodation, they get there, their site visit, and then everything we do internally within building our relationship and our team to be able to execute design. A lot of the systems that we use in-house, a lot of what we do is virtual. As you know, we live in a tech world, so we
Yeah.
make it very seamless and easy for the client. So yeah, and then we execute.
Okay. Perfect. Being a part of a tech world, um, how do you feel about AI and event planning?
I actually love it. I
Yeah.
really do. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, I do.
I'm like, so great. This is so
I gotta
great.
admit, right? I gotta
Right?
admit it.
I need
Yep,
to know before you
I
go.
gotta
Here's the
admit it.
information. Done. Like yeah, I think
Right.
it's too. Do you think that in the future, do you think that
Mhm.
AI, because some people are like, oh, some jobs will be replaced by AI and da 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 da. Do you think that some jobs will be actually replaced by AI? Like, do you think event planning and travel is one of
No,
them?
no,
That's what I said.
no,
I'm like,
no, it
people,
won't.
I feel like when people travel, they want the human component. They want to know that. And then, as you were saying, like the relationships that you build is priceless because
Mhm.
even though you're building it with the resort itself, with the destination or the travel bureau or whatever, you're also building that relationship with the person that works there.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
So I feel the same way in terms of that.
And with AI, I feel within our industry,
Mhm.
yes, it doesn't matter how many support, because I look at AI as support. So
Correct.
it's not actually getting the work done. It is support, is a part of the team, is a part of the planning and design process.
Yeah.
But we take those ideas and we tweak it a bit or we bring that to life, right? So
Yeah.
it's like you can design something in Mary, in 3D design in Mary, which is one of the softwares we use. And AI accompanies that with whatever AI software you want to use for design. And the client's like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. We also have to make sure we're executing that and that is possible, right? So
Yeah.
we make sure the dimensions is correct and these things are available within that destination. So again, it will not replace us. I don't
Okay.
see it. If anything, it's just supporting us.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
Um, So what's the biggest mistake people make when choosing a destination?
Ooh, good one. Good one. One of the biggest mistakes is choosing the destination for themselves and really forget about their guests.
Right.
Like, I don't care about who can make it, which is okay. I get it. But if you really want folks to show up, you need to envision not just you or
Right.
at your groom, but envision your closest loved ones, right? Think about your
Right.
guests. What I like to ask clients this question especially when doing weddings. It's like, what is one thing you want your guests to leave from here feeling, thinking, remembering? Think about the smell. Think about the first thing they looked at, the last thing, right? How do you want them to feel? What's going to be most memorable? As a guest, think from a guest perspective. And most of them wouldn't even think of that, right? So,
Yeah.
the biggest one though is really forgetting about their
Yeah.
guests for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a whole list, but guest is the number
Yeah.
one for me.
You
Cause
want to get
girl, you have everything from flight routes, the cost, right? Safety, mobility. You think about seasonal weather, like the infrastructure, service level, who is need handicap. Oh, my grandma's in a wheelchair and I need to get her from the Midwest to
yeah.
the Caribbean or to Africa. And it's just, yeah, it's a lot. It really is a lot.
Yeah. What's the hardest part about destination planning that nobody wants?
Mm.
Like, if there's a planner out here, and it's like, I want to be a destination planner and I want to travel with this. And what's the hardest part about it that no one really knows until they're there?
Ooh, the hardest part is, and this doesn't get talked about a lot, so we keeping it real.
Yes. All the way.
Is is really, it's specifically the property you're going to be working with,
Uh-huh.
and if it's your very first time working with that resort or hotel, not
Okay.
understanding their team, right? And have to be on top of it. Also, there is a difference within communication. Yes, we all may speak English, we may have a little accent,
Yeah.
but we all have a different way of doing things. For example, we know when you go to the Caribbean,
Mm-hmm.
things are a little bit slow, right?
Yeah.
When you go to Africa, things are much slower. The communication is right. So,
Yeah.
that is one of the hardest part because the client relies on you and your expertise. And if anything goes left, it's on
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah.
The client doesn't understand all these little, and it's our job to be on top of that team
Mm-hmm.
and who also manages that internal team. So it's
Yeah.
really about honing it. It's the behind the scenes things that is really the challenging part.
Yeah.
Really, because what we can do and produce here in the US like that,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it's a challenge. If it goes left in a different country, it can be a challenge to bring it
Yeah.
back together.
Yeah.
So, as specifically if it's your very first time working at that property.
Yeah.
So that's what I have to say for that.
So it's like managing Americans' expectation versus the reality of the rest of the world.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Because I see that
Um,
like I even like so my cousin, she's a travel agent. And not a travel agent, sorry, she's a flight attendant. And she travels the world and sees everything, right? And like spends time in all these countries. And she tells me they move slow. They don't care. Like in certain parts of the world, like
mhm,
you cannot buy anything at certain times because
mhm,
it's closed. They
mhm.
are done for the day. they made $2 or whatever it is that they wanted to make for the day, and they close that bad boy down, and then you can't find them again.
Very
So
much so.
I completely understand that. Um,
I wanna add one little thing to that. Um, One of the advice suggestions that I received,
mhm.
freely received it, that I live by ever since it was said, was what Brian Greene shared at Coterie. I can't remember the year, but this was Coterie in Jamaica. And he
Okay.
spoke on leading with empathy. And that is how, ever since he shared his story and kind of like dived in on our industry and how we need to kind of like, you know, look at things a little bit differently and how to restructure and just how to communicate is specifically what he was speaking of, and our mindset. Leading with
Mhm.
empathy, it is key because I can tell you, for instance, when I produced a 50th in Ghana,
Yeah.
I'm dealing with all attorneys from the Metropolitan Black Association here, Black Bar
Mhm.
Association here in New York. And that was a challenge in terms of the property, not
Right.
the destination, so to speak, but the property and the
Yeah.
communication. However, I need to understand they're different. They move differently. There's different aspects and different, ways of handling it. But I would definitely stress what Brian Greene shared years ago about leading with empathy. We really have to think about and hone in on really treating others how we would like to be treated.
Mhm.
So that is very important. I wanted to add that.
Yeah. No, definitely. That's the golden rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
You
the
know,
golden rule. What's your 2026 destination shortlist? In terms of best places to have an event.
Ooh.
And what would you say the type of client that could match it? So let's do top 3, right?
Okay.
Um so yeah, what's the best destinations in your opinion for a certain type of client?
Hmm. Ooh, let's say I would have said by region, but let's do destination itself.
Oh,
So, one of my tops right now, if you have never, if you've always been to the Caribbean,
yeah,
if you have always visited Jamaica, for instance, everybody goes to Jamaica, right?
correct.
But if you have always been if you've been to Jamaica before,
Mhm.
experienced the Caribbean before,
Mhm.
but really and truly want an overall island experience that you have never adventured off before,
Mhm.
St. Vincent is my
Really?
St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Okay.
Think about this. You have one big island
Right.
and several of these Grenadine islands that you can actually island hop throughout. You can go to 3, 4 different islands for the day.
Oh, wow.
I could go to a swim up bar at one island just to have a sandbar to have drinks. I can go to a next island just to have a lunch on the beach.
Mm,
I'm staying in Beckway, for instance, if you want to stay in Beckway at a nice, resort, a smaller boutique resort, or you can be on the big island there at Sandals and have an all-inclusive, experience. But hey, there's all these different yacht experiences that you can have.
yeah.
And most importantly, the reason I'm saying that is the water. Water. I mean, and I'm not saying Barbados doesn't have clear blue waters. I'm not saying Kitts don't have it and Jamaica don't have it, but there's something very unique about every single island in St.
Yeah.
Vincent in the Caribbean. But St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I would highly suggest for those who have experienced Jamaica, love the Caribbean, but want something more
Different.
unique in the
Okay.
Caribbean and
Uh-huh.
more luxurious because you can get so
Well,
much. Luxury is all about accessibility, folks. That's what luxury really is. It's really about accessibility. And I feel that St. Vincent gives that luxury experience when it comes to someone who wants something a little bit more unique in the Caribbean. Now, my second is also a hidden gem. Not quite a hidden gem, but in the Caribbean as well. I will definitely say it is St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
So St. Kitts and Nevis gives you that there's the Four Seasons there. There are so many. You have of course, the chartered private flight. There is so much. I could get into so many things, but St. Kitts and Nevis is one. And then my top has to do with, come from two separate regions. I can't choose.
Yeah.
So I have to say both. Belize and Ghana.
Okay.
So Belize and Ghana. There's so many number ones, but I'll say Belize because you get that land, sea, and air experience, okay? Belize is more of, and for those who don't know, yes, I'm Belizean, and I was born in Belize. But Belize have that uniqueness when it comes to, you get the Caribbean, you get jungle, you get to visit the Mayan ruins. And also, it's just easy access from the US, Canada. Like, it's just so easy access and, very flexible. But there's so much you can do. Today, I can be on the beach. In the afternoon, I can be in the jungle. You pick and choose, right? And I say Ghana because for you to have that cultural deep dive experience, to be home on the beach, if you want to be in Accra, I say it's Labadi Beach, right? To get really, you have a bit of that city rush and feel, but yet you have that luxurious feel on the beach. So those are my tops.
Okay. I definitely I need to check out a lot of these islands. Like, I pretty much have gone to Trinidad. Like, before COVID, I used to go every 6 months because my family is Trinidadian. Half Trinidad, half Haitian.
Okay.
I've never been to Jamaica. Still. To this day. Never.
We need to get you there.
Never. So I'm definitely gonna put these locations on my list. And Ghana's been on my list. I missed my opportunity in college to go. I kind of regret it, but I went to New Zealand instead. So I don't know.
Huh. That's a good experience too.
Yeah, New Zealand was amazing. Amazing. Okay, so what's something you wish other planners in the industry would talk about more open?
Community. I can't stress it enough. I would say community.
Yeah.
And when I mean community, I don't mean joining an organization and, I'm affiliated with an organization. I feel, and this is my opinion, I feel that our industry can be a bit cliquey at times.
Yes.
And we're not focusing on genuine connections. It's that, Cheyenne, I know you, and, we get along well, and your work is great. I think I'd like you to come on board with me to do XYZ for this event. Community, we need to hone in because let's have a real conversation about community.
Yeah.
Everyone is struggling one way or the other.
Correct.
Whether it's financially, emotionally, mental health is a real deal. It's a real thing. Yeah. And whether being wife and a mother, like you and I are both wives and moms, and juggling our businesses and so much, you might have some folks in our industry who are single parent, who might be working a full-time job and running their small business. There is so much that is going on in the world alone that other people are struggling with, whatever it is, personally, and we don't take the time out. I believe, and I stand firm in this, we're not taking the time out to genuinely reach out and say, hey, Cheyenne, just checking in to see how you're doing. You cross my mind and just see, how are you doing? what's going on with you in the business? Is there any help you need? Can I support you? I
Yeah.
feel we're focusing so much on what this one's doing, that one's doing this event, and oh, I only
The
want to be able to
comparison.
work with this one or huh?
The comparison.
Yeah, the comparison. And I only want I'm in it for the money. Folks, we need to focus because clients can see this, right? They will
Mhm.
see it. It comes out through the way we communicate with the client. It
Mhm.
comes out in the work that we produce. And community, I'll cannot stress it enough. Both you and I met in the National Society of Black Wedding and Event Professionals,
Yeah.
and we created just like many of others, I've created personal relationships with, meaning that I know you personally, that
Correct.
if something comes across my desk, I'll be able to hone in on my community because I know I can align you with this specific client based on something personal or professional.
Correct. Correct.
But I maintain that relationship. I find it to be very important.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely get that. When I first was coming into the industry as 20 something, just graduated, everything seems so like, oh, you have no experience. You have no
Mhm.
experience. Like, you know what I mean? And especially in New York, I always say it's very hard to find genuine people in New York, right? Um, because people will act genuine and really not be genuine and is only using you for that period of time. So
Mhm.
I do feel like, I definitely echo everything that you're saying in terms of community. And when you find your community, it completely changes it because when you have a hard day,
Mhm.
like your community is going to keep you going. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, all right, it's a new day. That was
Yeah,
Monday. This is Tuesday. What are we doing now? You know?
correct.
Um, so yeah, I definitely agree with that. All right. So now we're getting into, I guess, the fun part. So we're gonna do some rapid fire questions. And it's kind
Okay.
of like this or that for you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Yay.
So New York City or the Caribbean?
Caribbean,
Okay. Beach or the mountain?
beach,
Okay. Micro wedding or grand celebration?
micro.
Okay. Um, plan to perfection or going with the flow?
Ooh. Plan to perfection.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what destinations trends are actually worth paying attention to for 2026 that you're seeing? Are there
Mm.
any trends?
I will say Italy, like Europe, um, Greece and Italy are really big this year more than anything else.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, it,
You know why? Or is it just pretty much like people found it on the map now?
so it started about picking up traction about 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
And so we've been seeing it in the industry, and what have happened was more folks was taking the Mediterranean cruises to go to Greece and experience some of these destinations for a few minutes, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I wanna come back." And then it's been, picking up so much. Also with some of the if you're into documentaries, on CNN, there's been a lot of different cooking documentaries, cultural documentaries in terms of, focusing on Italy
Mhm,
specifically. And
mhm,
so, that has been one of the hottest, 2 destinations. I can tell you a lot of DMCs, a lot of host agencies and tourism boards are hosting a lot of fam trips
okay.
and
That's helping a lot.
symposiums, trainings for travel advisors and destination wedding planners in those destinations. The Caribbean's been doing it forever, but
Mhm,
those destinations specifically is on the list. Been there since last year. I think they start doing it. Yeah, and again this year.
got it. Okay. What's your dream event or your dream client? We're gonna speak it
Ooh,
into existence with intention. so you can get it.
Yes.
Okay.
My dream client is a client that will have me sit down for the entire year. Meaning they have that perfect budget, that will let
Yeah.
me just
Yeah.
focus
Yeah.
on them, and it will be that. It will need to be destination. It would need to be in the Caribbean. Um and it will be anywhere between 50 to 100 guests or
Okay.
150 guests. And it can be anything from a wedding to a milestone celebration.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
That's my dream client where, is that one client with that beautiful budget. Also the client that is, this is what I want, make it happen. I have this budget of X amount, but hey, guess what? You're telling me we're going over, and oh, sure, no problem.
Right.
Not that I encourage my clients to go over their budget. Trust me, not that I do, but
No,
just
but
saying.
I love that. That's so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
even though I get clients, in the past I've had clients, like I have had a client. I love her to this day. We still keep in touch. A few of my clients and I are like, we have good relationship. But this client specifically, I was doing her baby shower. I've never done a baby shower for 100 guests.
Yeah.
Never. And the design was specific. We had this budget, and she was spending, and I'm stressing the budget every time we're going over, and I'm discussing this with her, and I'm telling her, I wouldn't suggest you spending an extra $10,000 or an extra $2,000 and this and that. And she's like, oh no. She's like, I want it. She got it. 2 days before the event, she's looking at all these invoices. And she's like, Ebony, oh my goodness, I can't believe I spent all this money. And she went into panic mode. And I said, you can't go in panic mode because I don't need you to go into labor.
Correct. Correct.
And then she said, oh my gosh, I can't let my husband know. I said, he will never know. She said, how do you know? I said, as long as you keep quiet. It's like, because I won't be saying. And then after the event, she said to me that she couldn't understand why she overreacted the way she did. She said because when she went there, everything looked so beautiful that the money she spent, it didn't even matter anymore. She said it didn't matter anymore. She's like, everything came out so perfectly. And she said, but she also she understood clearly why I kept reminding her about the budget over and over. And she said, the next time she will not debate with me whatsoever. She will listen to me. Because again, I don't need you to go into panic mode. But yeah, we love it.
Yes, we do love that. I love a client who has a vision. I just listen. If you tell me what you want, you can make it happen. But if I gotta find it,
girl, I had that last year. One of my brides, I will talk about till the day I could see another bride come through my door with this, but I've had a bride that came to me with her mood board. Okay? She came with this mood board. You would think is a wedding planner and she's been doing this for years. She has never planned a thing. She's a nurse, and her mood board was French kiss. I speak of it to this day. It was so detailed, perfect, all aligned, exactly that you and I, as a planner and designer, know it should be.
Yep.
There was nothing I needed to tweak or do. That's how perfect it was. And I kept, complimenting her the entire time. And we executed exactly as.
So sweet. Yeah. What you want.
And you don't get that all the time. So
No.
I enjoyed her.
Yeah. You do. You gotta honor those moments. Okay, so we can talk about events forever, but
Mhm.
As we come to an end, where can people
Mhm.
find you, and how do they start the conversation with you if they want to work with you?
Of course.
Like all your plug.
So you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Ebony Katus Events. Also on LinkedIn, Ebony Katus Events, or Ebony C Stewart on LinkedIn. And you can send me an email. I have a lot of people who go and Google me
Okay.
and reach out to me, and say, "Oh, I found you on Google." So you can also Google me, Ebony Katus Events. You can send
Yeah.
me an email at info@ebonykatusevents.com. Yeah, or if you're looking for just travel services, you can reach out at travel@ebonykatusevents.com. So yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here and taking the time out in the blizzard to talk to everyone about
Oh
destination events.
yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
Okay,
much
cool.
for
So we're
having
gonna end it
me.
here.